This set of tutorials is going to cover how to use Adobe Photoshop to create your album cover front and back. Okay, so assuming that we have already typed in our list of songs, we did the brainstorming, we tried to figure out what was the theme of the album, what type of songs do we want to use, is it happy, is it sad? So once we have all that, we should have come up with a list of songs by now. Now, I did have these actually numbered, but I would recommend removing any numbers or bullet points because you can always go and do that when you do your final design in Photoshop. So for now, just leave your list. You could do it in Google Forms, TextEdit, doesn't matter, but save it because you're going to cut and you're going to paste it in Photoshop, so why do it twice? So we're just going to save this, tuck it over to the side for now. And now over here, I have my folder of all the images that I decided to grab from all the artists, along with some pictures of myself. So I'm ready to go. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to jump into Photoshop, and this screen will pop up. And you're going to go over here and hit Create New. Now, we've talked about this before. There's all these different presets that Photoshop gives you, which is great. But in this case, we are actually going to go in and make our own. So we're going to do the first thing is use our initials, underscore, and then we're just going to call it album front. Okay, because don't forget, we're going to have a front and we're going to have a back. Okay, so that's, you want to be able to know which one's the front and which one's the back and have them all nice and organized. So the next thing, 12 inches by 12 inches, and then at 150 is the resolution, which is more than fine for what we're trying to do. And everything else is good. The color is fine. These should be some pretty basic standard settings that you have. And then you're just going to hit Create. Now you have this wonderful 12 by 12 inch document. Now there's a weird little thing that Photoshop has set up that you'd want to go in and change in the preferences, because I did notice some students were having some issues with their what they call their layers. So if you go to preferences in general, a couple of things that you want to do is right here. If this is clicked on, always create smart objects when placing, you might want to turn that off. It creates extra steps. I can get more into it more at another time, but just turn that off. And also one of your best friends too is when you're doing transformations or anything, you want to leave your show transform controls turned on, okay? Because that's great. When you drag an image over, I'll show you why. So now that I have my new document saved, now here's the thing. All I did was create a new document. I did not save it yet. So I'm going to actually hit File, and I'm going to save it as something. So I'm going to go File, Save As, and it's album front. Now eventually this is going to become what's called a PSD file. There's going to be many layers on it. So I might as well just go ahead and go Photoshop. And then I'm going to go to my desktop, and I am going to find that folder, okay, my soundtrack images, and I'm going to hit Save, because you want to keep everything in one folder, okay, until the job is done. So now I have my image saved. I'm ready to go. I may just, move this up a little bit so I can kind of jump up to here. And the first thing you'd want to do is put your picture in the center, okay? So I went ahead and created a picture of myself on a green screen. Now, actually, you can use any kind of solid background, say white or gray, and you could do the same technique that I'm about to do. There's a couple different ways to do this. But I'm going to obviously trace myself out of the background, and I'm going to show you a couple tools on how to do that in the next video.